Business owners want to connect with consumers with more than $1.6 trillion in annual purchasing power? Want to get the coaching, new clients, strategic connections, and capital to boost your bottom line? Subscribe to the Matthews Broadcast YouTube channel and press the notification bell to be notified when we post the success principles, cash flow ideas, and content you need to prosper and succeed. Subscribe right now. Hey everybody, this is Stan Matthews. Just want to say thank you to everyone who participated and who influenced you. It was just an amazing night. I want to thank all of our host team. I want to thank all of our speakers on the night. I want to thank DrGeorgeFraser, my mentor and friend. I want to thank Dennis Kimbrough. Dr. Kimbrough, you killed it. I want to circle right back around and say to our Coach's Corner director, Miss Rita Pilot, Coach Rita Pilot, you broke the mold. This was amazing. So I want to invite everyone to the next Coach's Corner, in which we will be featuring on the 25th of April, and have an amazingly blessed day.
I am Val the Voice Johnson, founder and host of the podcast Interludes and Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesday, where we highlight people of color in spaces of television and film. I have the distinct honor of serving as your streaming host on tonight. Here are some directives. Please accept the invitation to become a panelist to join the meeting. Once in the meeting, please mute yourself. There are many people we want to hear from on tonight. This is a webinar virtual meeting, and we want to be respectful to all of our speakers, presenters, and VIP guests. In just a moment, I will be introducing our NBN Executive Chairman, Mr. Eugene Poole, to open us up with prayer. Eugene, are you there?
Yes, I am here, Val. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, members and hosts, as well as new guests. We want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to the Matthews Business Network. We wanted to also let everyone know that we started out as an African American, predominantly Christian organization. But because of our faith, we welcome all members, all races, creeds, and colors. So you are all welcome to our organization, and we pray that this will be a blessing. I'll start out with prayer, as our tradition holds. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening thanking you for this wonderful opportunity, tremendous webcast, an opportunity to make a difference in our society, an opportunity to work together to do what we can to make a difference in our society. Help us to be the best we can be. Help all those who are on this webinar to be nourished, encouraged, to take action, to be a part of making a difference in the rest of the world and our society. So we thank you for this opportunity, and we pray that everyone will be blessed by this meeting this evening. Thank you so much. In your name we pray. Amen. As Val had mentioned, I'll just briefly mention that I serve as the chairman of NBN, and we welcome everyone to our meeting. We want you all to be encouraged tonight. The other thing I do is I'm happen to serve as the CEO of Aligned Benefits Group, which is a health insurance agency providing affordable health care for our nation and around the world. Other than that, I'll give it back to Val. Thanks, Val.
Thank you. And Eugene, thank you so very much for that prayer to open us up. And now it is time for the host with the most. This is Natalie Stokes-Peters. Where you at, girlfriend?
Here I am. How are you? How's everybody tonight? Listen, welcome to MBN's Who Influenced You? Coach's Corner Night. This is Coach's Corner rules, y'all. It's like when you go to a friend's house and you play cards, it's house rules. Tonight is house rules. We got a packed agenda. We have folks who are going to share some seriously great information, and this is just an all-star night. Before I go further, if you are an attendee and you see on your screen where it says accept the invitation to be promoted to panelist, please do so in order to fully participate in this dynamic event that we're having tonight. Second, I need to acknowledge my team. You know, Will Packer wasn't the only one with an all-Black production team. We have Val the Voice Johnson, Jan Peters, Dr. Marie Celestin, Monica Fusilier, Rodney Burris, and I think that I got everybody in on that. So I want to do that. Third, if you are speaking tonight, please be prepared to share your camera, be on screen, please. We don't like seeing those pictures up there. We don't want to see your name. We want to see your face. So please be prepared to come on screen. Now, with that, I am going to introduce you to MBN. The Matthews Business Network is the premier growth platform for established Black and urban business owners and professional and nonprofit organizations. Since our founding in 2015, many of our active engaged 2,200 plus members can attest to getting 8 to 10 new clients per month by practicing our ICP client acquisition system. Want to know more about that? You got to join, learn how to grow your business, find out what ICP is all about. We also help our members grow by promoting them on network television programs, including OWN, MSNBC, CNN, ESPN, MTV, and BET. Our members provide consumers with excellent services and products with integrity and passion. We are committed to providing great consumer experiences and making urban communities a great places to live, work, own a home, and build a business and a career. That's MBN. This is where you want to be. All right. We operate by 4 guiding principles. First is to be present. When you're here, this is when you make your connections. We ask that you be positive. We are not here to tear each other down, y'all. That's for sure. We ask that you bring a guest. That's how we grow this network. That's how we've grown to over 300% since the pandemic. We also ask that you bring a praise and prosperity report. That's how we know we're doing business with each other in whatever capacity you may need.
This MBN's newest member, he didn't wait until we got to the invitation to membership at 9 o'clock. Ron jumped in right now. Ron, welcome, my brother.
You guys letting me on the platform again. Stan, we've had some great conversations and I really appreciate being here, but I know I only have a minute. So let me start by saying what I represent is 7K Metals, which is a insurance of wealth. We protect your assets, your money. So what we do that in is gold and silver, which is sound money. We've been around for about 5 years. Roger Ball, who is the owner of our company, is a billionaire 10 times over. He's the original owner of Melaleuca, investing in gold and silver. He's one of 12 people who can buy gold and silver right from the U.S. Mint. So I'm so happy to be a part of that because now what we can do is offer gold and silver at any price. I know a lot of us think that gold and silver is for the wealthy or rich, but we can buy fractional gold and fractional silver. We also have what we call a sound money wallet where you can actually put gold and silver and purchase gold and silver and leave it in a vault. So I want to thank you guys for giving me the time. I don't even have a minute. So I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Natalie. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate that.
Welcome, everybody. I'm glad that you are here this evening. Oh, man, I see the man in black. I see the man in black has arrived. Dennis Kimbrough, you're in trouble now.
No, I was just giving some counsel to Will Smith. That's a whole nother subject.
Oh, no, we don't have time. We don't have time tonight.
All right. Hold that thought, man. This is my consigliere in the DrGeorgeFraser. So I want to introduce Jacqueline King. Jackie is one of my 2 VIPs. She's a Jersey girl. She has an organization called Empowered Black Women. She is a retired corporate executive of PSC&G in Newark, New Jersey. She's served on many boards. She's got many friends. Jackie is just a powerhouse. I'm not going to go long. She has an organization with 1 million Black women all over the country who want to fight for and deliver economic uplift and empowerment. Jackie, the floor is yours for a minute. Say hello to our folks.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity, Stan. It's actually 4 million women that we have on social media. He shorted us just a little bit. We're on every social media platform. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Pinterest. So I'm a former employee of PSC&G, 27 years almost, and I started Black Women Empowered so that we could bring women together for purchasing power, for ministry, to encourage and uplift each other. And we've been doing this for 10 years. I am so looking forward to working with Michelle Walker and with our Billion Women program. It's something that we talked about, and we're excited that we're going to make that happen, helping women to fulfill their dreams, to become entrepreneurs, and to tap into all of this money and resources that are available. So 1 billion successful women entrepreneurs worldwide by December 31st, 2030. So that is who I am, and I am honored to be here.
And we are happy that you are here this evening. I want to thank you so much. As we see our sister Jackson getting ready to go to the Supreme Court, and we are already served by our sister Kamala Harris, we know that empowered Black women are the backbone of our community, our mothers, our sisters, our wives, and our friends. So we thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Jackie. Hold tight. We're going to beg you to be a member in about 45 minutes.
Let me just say, it's Black women empowered. So if you look it up, he says empowered Black women, but I'll type it in the chat.
Please do.
Thank you.
Please do, and welcome. I am going to ask here and now, my friend, your friend, and the people's mentor, the man in black tonight. His name is George C. Fraser. You might know him by his book, Click. You might know him in Success Runs in Our Race. You might know him as the chairman of PNC, right? The Power Networking Conference, which will be celebrating its 21st year in August of this year. MBN will be sending an entire delegation. We are holding our third quarter meeting in Houston, Texas, just because we like to hang out, sit in front of a fireplace, and let Dr. George be with all of us so we can do better. And but it ain't nothing but love. It ain't nothing but love. Doc, I hate to tell you, but because Kimbrough's the keynote tonight, you got 5 whole minutes, and they told me I got to be the dagger man. So
okay. Well,
let's do it in 7. Let's do it in 7. Yeah.
Hey, Stan,
Yeah.
do you want Jan to do a quick intro of Dr. Fraser for everybody?
I was going to go there right now.
All right.
Jan?
Good evening, everyone, and hello. I have the illustrious honor of introducing Dr. George C. Fraser, who is the CEO of Fraser Nation, a global professional network and passionate advocate for Black wealth creation. Fraser Nation has over 150,000 partners worldwide and continues to grow. Dr. Fraser has insisted for 40 years there's to be no sizzle reel of his life's work and purpose until there was something to quantify and sizzle about. Well, now he has way more to sizzle about. Dr. Fraser has authored 6 best-selling books, given more than 2,800 lectures and speeches, and secured more than 1.5 billion with a B in new business for entrepreneurs. Dr. Fraser has always believed it's not how you start, it's how you finish. That God has great plans for each of us. We must simply listen to his voice, follow directions, overcome the obstacles, and stay the course. Dr. Fraser's life is to leave a legacy. Life's work is to leave a legacy of reconnecting us to our history, to our culture, and the prosperous future God has in store for us. Dr. Fraser's favorite line from super rapper Drake: started from the bottom, now we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. George C. Fraser.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jan, for that wonderful, beautiful, eloquent introduction. So I'm going to do something very different tonight. Stan, one of my influencers, has asked me to write the foreword for our new book that we're doing together, compilation book on who influenced you. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to do the best I can in terms of a dramatic read of the forward just to see if I hit on the right things. So that's what I'm going to do. It'll take me about 5 or 6 minutes to do that. And then we can leave the stage to the illustrious Dennis Kimbrough, my longtime friend, and also an influence of me, and an influencer of so many. So here we go. This is the forward for Who Influenced You? What is influence and how do you get it? The world's most influential leaders, business people, and innovators know the one key characteristic to help them reach their goals and to affect change. They possessed not only the ability to wield influence, but they were influential. A review of the last 20 years studying the great Black influences in our world, Christ, Martin Luther King, Bishop Desmond Tutu, Harriet Tubman, Maya Angelou, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, Rosa Parks, Marcus Garvey, Earl Graves, and many more, shows it wasn't just what these people did that made them influential. It wasn't because they had money or position or authority. They were influential because of who they were or are and the traits that they possessed. Webster defines influence as the active power of producing an effect without apparent exertion of force or direct exercise of command. Through this definition, the difference between influence and dictatorial command are delineated. Command says, and I quote, "Do this because I said so, and there are vile consequences if you don't." Influence says, and quote, "I'm helping you to see that this is the best course of action in terms of long-term benefits for both of us." Command can initiate change of mind, but it is externally motivated. As soon as the external consequence is lifted, the status quo is quickly resumed. Influence creates an internal shift in the person's mindset. Internal commitment is gained independent of external consequences. The world's most influential people don't merely change others' behavior, they shift their mindset. Suppose you own a retail store and an employee continues not greeting customers in line with your culture. Command says, "Do this or you'll get fired or written up." Influence says, "Let me show you why this is important to your success and mine." The employee is commanded to greet customers. The employee who is commanded to greet customers will do so while he or she thinks you are watching. Your customers will see through the veneer as well. The employee who is influenced will begin to sincerely greet customers regardless of your presence because an internal shift has occurred. You can be an influencer. In fact, you already are. And you can grow your ability to become even more influential once you identify and understand your potential to be influential in relationship to achieving business success, expanding your leadership impact, realizing a needed outcome for a worthy cause, building others as you help them make a significant mark on the world, gaining admission, for example, into a prestigious MBA or graduate program, attaining your dream in your personal life. Change is temporary. Shift is permanent. Grow your influence, expand your influence. True influence is based on an emotional connection. A crucial aspect of influence is the emotional connection you make with people. This is huge. True influence involves building trust and relationships, getting those people to align their views and values with your own for long-term gain. Short-term change doesn't rely as much upon emotional connection. Instead, it uses other tactics like reasoning, manipulation, or coercion. You only have to look at your own experiences to see the difference. If someone threatens or coerces you to get you to do something, you might do it at the moment, but long-term resentment means you'll revert to the previous behavior as soon as you can. On the other hand, if a friend asks you to change your behavior in some way, you're much more likely to do so. More importantly, you're much more likely to want to do so. And you are emotionally invested in that person and want to see him or her succeed to the point that you'll help them however and whenever you can. With a rich background in psychology and human behavior, researcher Dr. Karen Keller states that true influence happens at a deeper internal level. This sets you apart. She goes on to say, unless an internal shift occurs, change will not last. Become a world changer. Grow as an influencer. Harriet Tubman shifted our mindset about Black courage and commitment. Marcus Garvey shifted the Black world's mindset about Black self-help. Martin Luther King shifted the world's mindset about leadership. Bishop Desmond Tutu shifted the world's mindset about what it means to truly forgive. Earl Graves shifted our mindset about Black businesses. Your mom and dad hopefully shifted your mindset on how to treat others with love and kindness. Just about finished. Whether you are called to shift the world's mindset on the global stage or through leading your small business, mentoring, or by parenting your children, your legacy will be seen in those you influenced deeply. Growing your influence isn't just important for personal success. Your future depends on it. Now, Who Influenced You? Our new book is 20 exciting and informative stories of everyday people just like you, whose lives were impacted by influences. Why? Because they were open and they listened. That's the forward, everybody. Let's give those next.
7 minutes and 13 seconds. I won the bet.
Okay. Any thoughts, any comments? Can I make it better? You want me to make it better, to make it different? What more?
Our coach's corner director said, if you could get Dr. George to do 7 minutes, you win the bet. 7:13. Listen, if you have comments, hey, Dr. Kimbrough, I love that gold tie. If you have comments, put them in the chat. We're going to go to a 1-minute commercial break. During the commercial break, we're going to try to get civil rights icon Monica, the one and only Reverend Al Sampson, to come in. Let's go to a commercial break and we'll come right back. In the chat, I want you guys to leave 3 questions for Dr. Fraser, and after Dr. Kimbrough speaks at 8:30, 5 questions for him. We're going to move quickly, but we want you to hear from these 2 legends of thought, inspiration, and empowerment in our community. Let's go to a commercial break. Val?
Yes, Dan.
Let's go to a commercial break. Hey, Dr. Jones, Stephen Jones, the Dean of the Villanova Engineering School, has graced us with his presence. I'm sure it has something to do with Dr. Kimbrough and Dr. Fraser being in the house. One of America's leading scholars.
I am so looking forward to it. I'm taking notes. Here's my notepad.
We take notes every time we hear you speak, Steve Jones.
You come into an awareness that once you're no longer improving, that you are maintaining a governance, not only of the thoughts that are moving through your awareness, but the vibration that you are holding. so that you can literally, this is a vibrating universe, it's a feeling universe, everything is in vibration. You're literally monitoring your vibration so that you're maintaining it as high as you possibly can, independent of any circumstance that's going on in your life. Everything is vibration. Most people basically allow circumstances to determine their vibes. You see, they lower their vibration to match a circumstance or a condition that they may or may not like. That is for wimps, that's for cowards, that's for people who have given up the sovereignty of their own mind. No, you come in and you lift your vibration.
Natalie Stokes Peters.
That's right. We get to lift our vibrations. So we got somebody right now who is going to lift us up. Reverend Al Sampson. I mentioned him earlier tonight. I think he's good to go. Monica Fusilier, who has been working double time on the other side, making sure that he is good to go. Reverend Sampson, we are ready to hear from you. You got 1 minute, Reverend Al. Hopefully you are there. Please come off of mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, praise
Let's
God.
do it.
Praise God. What I want to introduce to some and present to others. In my ordination of Martin King ordaining me, he closed it, and you can get the whole presentation with a brother named Homer McCall under RevAlSampson.com. This is the interesting thing he said. He said, I'm giving you two weapons, Brother Sampson and Brother McCall. One is the Bible, which I always say is basic information before life ends. It's the only book that says holy. And the other book was a song book. It said a preacher needs to be able to know how to sing a song and keep the songs of our ancestors like Howard Thurman did in his books. One of the key things that Martin closed out was saying that the other day, the world was ended when they had an extra newspaper out and they ran all over the city, extra, extra. The war is over. Now, this is all this book is about. It's an extra edition of God's eternal word. And the good thing about Brother Stan and Brother Kimbrough and Brother Fraser, and all of us.
Reverend
Good
Al,
news.
Do you hear
Good
all that
news.
music, Reverend Al?
Yes.
We want to hear more from you, but we got a packed
No, I
show
understand.
tonight.
Thank you. No,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for
thank
coming
you.
on. I'm glad you finally got on. So that's a
Yeah,
beautiful
thank you.
thing. Thank you so much.
And
All right, thank you.
let me say this, Reverend Al, while you were here. We thank you for your 60 years of ministry and service to us, from Selma and to all of those battlefields where our rights were won. We are going to bring you back where we just focus on you. I want John Jamerson and A.M. Noel to hear me. The next time we set up Reverend Al, we're going to send someone to his home at our expense to make sure that his connection is clear and powerful. Reverend Sampson, we thank you, and we are going to have you back. I promise.
Thank you. Love you. God bless. Thank you, brother.
All right, man.
Yes, we do not like cutting you off. We want to hear more. So we look forward to that. Thank you so much, Stan, for acknowledging him. So now, guys, guess what? We get to move to the part of our agenda where all of the authors in this book that Dr. George just mentioned doing the introduction for, we're going to get to those authors now. The first four authors who are going to share their information will be Jose Gonzalez, Martin Davis. Oh, I'm sorry. Back that up. Ignore that. A.M. Noel, Eugene Poole, Jenna Brooks, and John Jamerson. You are the first four. Please, A.M., come to the mic and share your camera. A.M.
Definitely. Thank you. First, I want to make an apology because of my accent. Some of you may not understand that I'm originally from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, but I want to share with the rest of the world. In 1953, February, I'm just telling you a story of a man who never went to school his entire life, had 10 children, and December 17, 1953, I showed up. All it was my dad got excited or my mom got excited and I showed up. And who each and every one of you are, that happiness. There was never one like you. There'll never ever be one like you. And your assignment in the world is to be happy. At any given point, you want to be happy, you get to create it from nothing. And that's the best part of what is possible. With that, thank you so very much for each and every one of you for listening. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, AM. And there's no need to apologize. That's where you're from. There's no apologies needed for that. We got you.
You never know, people may get offended, but
No.
you always ask for apology.
No, I don't apologize for my Alabama, Ohio accent, and neither should you. All right. Coming next, our next author is Eugene Poole. You heard from him earlier. Eugene, please unmute yourself and come on camera.
Thank you, Natalie. I'm on camera already. You can see me there. Okay. So I will begin my little excerpt from the book. By the way, most of us attending this webinar are probably familiar with the biblical golden rule in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 that states that do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I have always relied on this golden rule to keep myself in check in terms of my personal behavior, until my mother shared with me that she had just been robbed on the streets where some boys had grabbed her pocketbook with her identity, credit cards, and went on a spending spree. This was a drop the mic moment for me because I felt a range of emotions and didn't know what to do. How would you feel if this happened to your mother? And what would you do? I felt so disappointed with people in our neighborhood because no one came to her rescue. I did not understand why anyone would attack an elderly woman who has lived in the neighborhood for most of her life. However, my mother quickly calmed me down by sharing that she was not hurt and was able to restore her identity and was not held responsible for any of the charges on her credit card. My mother also shared with me that because of the drug epidemic, there was a new crackdown on crime that sent many of these young people's parents to jail, even for marijuana possession for long periods of time. This left many of these young people devastated because now they had to fend for themselves, and many of them became homeless. Right or wrong, these young people were left desperate for their daily survival, strung out on drugs, hungry, and confused. Once my mother understood their situation, she and her best friend sprung into action by providing free food after church to these young people who were homeless. She also provided a piece of chocolate cake, which could calm down anyone, just enough so that they could clearly seek additional help and resources to meet their daily needs. My mom and her best friend had helped so many of these young people that when one of these young people who were not familiar with my mother and her best friend would try to rob them, the other young people came to their rescue by telling the would-be robber that these were their mothers and not to lay a hand on them. My mother and her best friend have become surrogate mothers to these young people. This is why you want to get the book on Who Influenced You and read our section titled, Always Strive to Live Your Life so that you can help others. I guarantee you will be inspired and encouraged to make a difference in someone else's life. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for saving my life, along with my wife, my family members, friends, and business associates who have guided and supported me throughout my journey for attending this webinar. Thanks for everyone for attending.
Thank you so much, Eugene. Eugene Poole is our executive director. Appreciate that. Love hearing the words of wisdom. Next up is Jenna Brooks, our member care director. Jenna, are you ready? She is off mute. Come on screen, Jenna.
Good evening, everyone. I am Chef Jenna Brooks, and I welcome you to Influence the World. I'd like to ask everyone to please repeat after me. Forgiveness is not for the other person.
Forgiveness is not for the other person.
Forgiveness is for you. for me.
Forgiveness is for you.
I'm so grateful to the people in my life. Sometimes you have to go beyond the pain that you have endured and become the stronger person. As a young girl, I dealt with lots of trauma. I lost my mother at the age of 2 years old from an accident, and my father I lost at 10 years old from a massive heart attack. Shortly after, my older sister brought me into the United States to live with her. I was fortunate to meet other siblings and family members. The main contribution that I want to emphasize tonight is forgiveness and appreciation. Sometimes, even when the pain and the struggle you have endured, you have to be able to forgive and be the bigger person. You have to appreciate those key people in your life, ultimately have helped shape you into the person you are, even if there are none perfect, because nobody is perfect. However, I want you to know that to forgive and the impact of other people, you have to think about life as you go. If someone asked me 100 years from today, Jenna Brooks, what was your contribution to who influenced you? I would say life affects everyone differently. Sometimes even the people that are closest to you will hurt you. Your family, your friends, but you have to move on with your life. You have to realize that there are human beings as well. Everyone's experience is different from yours. So there is someone in your life that you're holding animosity towards, against. Please try your very best to forgive them. All it's doing is hurting you, not that person. But you know what? I have forgiven myself, and I want everyone to appreciate me. Remember, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. Thanks to my family and friends and the audience for listening to me today.
Thank you, Jenna. Appreciate hearing that. I love that. This book is going to be dynamic. And just speaking of dynamic, let's move next. We have John Jamerson. John Jamerson, please unmute yourself. Come to the screen. We'd love to hear who influenced you. John, are you there? There you are.
My reasons for writing my chapter, The Voices That Lead Me, is to support and to celebrate and encourage the efforts of my ancestors, past, present, and future, that their work might not be in vain. In honor of my grandmother, Julietta Webb Clardy, who I lovingly refer to as Gran, who taught me to value my ancestors and serving others, who taught me her strong work ethics, to work hard while I'm young and able, so that when I'm old, I won't have to, who taught me that class is always in style. To my father, Thomas Jamerson Sr., who taught me about the sacrifices it takes to be a man and a father, to stand strong and go in my own way, even though it may be unorthodox, to think outside the box. And to my mother, Elizabeth Harmon Jamerson, who taught me the teachings and instructions and the moral code of the scriptures, who taught me to love my history and taught me to learn from my mistakes, that it might enable us to walk in faith, to unlock the seeds of the potential of each other that is unique, omniscient, and omnipotent. A seed unique with the DNA built on the triumphs and the tragedies, barriers, and breakthroughs, designed to do what only you and I are created to do. Our purpose, though we are imperfectly perfect, to produce our unique fruit, unseen, but faithfully pursued. A seeing, omniscient, with the knowledge genetically and intellectually passed down from past generations to our present lives, to envision a better future, to walk towards the essence of that vision, strategically and committedly, prepared for the harvest to come. A seed, omniscient, powerful beyond all measures, to enable us to overcome all obstacles, not to be revered or admired, but a seed to be sacrificed, to be planted in the cultivated field of this world, with the power to withstand the dirt, which is the conditions that surround us, our failures, our fears, inadequacies, and the darkness of the unknown that has been fertilized with systematic oppression, discrimination, flooded with self-hate, self-doubt, and dream killers. The power of the faith of a mustard seed, able to move mountains for our harvest, that we might be able to have our breakthrough, that we might be able to spread our leaves to help one another, knowing that everything that we do, that we play an impeccable and influential role in the development of each other's. I want to thank my sons, my wife, my grandchildren, that you may be strong and encouraged. Thank you all.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. A mustard seed. So guys, I am about to disappear for a while, so you all won't have to look at me, but let me just give you a little bit about me. My name's Natalie Stokes-Peters. My business is Adinka Creations, where we make better than basic greeting cards and gifts. Mother's Day is coming, and I'm going to spotlight myself because I can do that. I want to show you. I want to ask all of you all, give me a call and get a custom Mother's Day card made for the women in your life. Alternatively, if you've got a business, you might want to think about creating a journal for you and your customers that is branded with your information. My name's Natalie Stokes-Peters. I'll see you later in the program. And now I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Marie, who is our wellness expert. Dr. Marie, you are up.
Thank you, Natalie. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Marie, your go-to wellness coach. And I know many of you, as we're talking about legacy, are also thinking about your health. And so I would love to help you improve your health. But tonight, I'm excited to introduce our speakers, fellow authors. I'm going to call on Jose Gonzalez, then Martin Davis, Mary Simmons, then Michelle Walker Davis. But first, our master keto chef, Jose Gonzalez, come on screen.
Before Jose starts, I'm so sorry, Marie. Whoever has your mic open, please mute. Go ahead, Jose.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Keto Master Chef Jose Gonzalez, and I want everyone to repeat after me. I am blessed. And I am blessed.
I am blessed.
Thank you. And I am blessed to be a blessing.
I am blessed to be a blessing.
This moment right now is the best moment ever. 20 years ago, I was incarcerated for making a...
You're on mute, Jose.
Thank you. This moment right now is the best moment ever. 20 years ago, I was incarcerated for making a very bad choice. But it was that experience that allowed me to think differently in a way that would allow me to overcome and transform my life. My daughters were 1 and 6 years old, and I was facing a 10-year sentence. My mother, who was still grieving the passing of my father just 18 months earlier, was about to lose her only son to my choice. I was frightened, embarrassed, and ashamed. You see, going to prison was never in my plan, but I learned that we have our plan and then there's God's plan. At sentencing, the judge afforded me just a 2-year sentence and recommended me for a 6-month boot camp program that would allow me to get home to my family sooner. And when I found out that I would be home in 6 months, I was ecstatic. I looked at the calendar, I did the math in my head, and I called my daughter excitedly saying, "Baby, Daddy is gonna be home by Christmas." She said nothing. I said, "Baby, did you hear me?" And she replied, "Christmas, how am I supposed to live with my dad without my father until Christmas?" Those words were my blessing, an opportunity to make a different choice. And guess what? You are blessed. In fact, I want everybody to write in the comments below, write in the chat box, "I am blessed." Light up the chat box, write in, "I am blessed," because we are all blessed. You are blessed to be alive. You're blessed to be free, to be able to spread and receive love. And I want you to know that if you made some bad choices, you can redeem yourself. And your story of how you overcame will be a blessing to other people. I want to thank everyone that's here tonight to love and support me. I want to thank my children, Jasmine, Alyssa, and Jordan, for inspiring me to grow. I want to thank my father. I know you're watching, and I love you. And I have to acknowledge the 3 women that helped shape me and have never stopped supporting me no matter what. My mother, my sister Millie, and my wife. Because of you, this moment right now is the best moment ever. Remember, life is a blessing, but you have to make the right choice. Good evening.
Dr. Marie?
Thank you, Val. All right, our next speaker will be Martin Davis.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start off by referencing a quote that Muhammad Ali made, and I'll tie it into my presentation. "Service to others is the rent that you pay for your room here on earth." My presentation tonight is about my cousin Ralph. And I'm going to pose a question to you because I've asked myself this many times. Has anyone other than the famous people that we know influenced us more in death than they've influenced us in life? I always felt that my cousin Ralph was a tremendous influence in my life during my younger years. My cousin Ralph Malone is the oldest offspring of my mother's twin sister, Mary. He was considered by many to be quite sapient. He had an extensive vocabulary and was well-versed in a plethora of topics, including science, mathematics, history, politics, literature, poetry, music, and many other subject matter. He had an opinion and was armed with the facts to substantiate his rationale. Ralph was a consummate reader and was certainly one of the most articulate people that I have ever encountered in my entire life. Those individuals that were well acquainted with him not only addressed him by the name of Ralph, they called him Doc. At an early age, I was influenced by my cousin Ralph because whenever I saw him, he always had a book in hand. Today, his children, his younger siblings, and even my children always have books. They're always reading. So he has influenced many more. I would sit and listen to him converse with my father and others in the community regarding a wide range of subjects for seemingly hours. During fall weekends, though, when I was very young, he would come to my house and close himself off in my parents' room and watch television. At the time, I was too young to understand what he was watching. There were some guys in some gladiator-looking armor running up and down a field of grass, jumping on one another. And the team that he watched most often, I couldn't pronounce the name. I later would attend that university and then later realized why he was so honored to be watching them. He was watching Ernie Davis. He had been watching Jim Brown and others. So he influenced me through those younger years, but he also influenced me through his community advocacy. And in referencing my quote, I'll say this: Ralph was heavily involved in the community. He, along with one of his colleagues, taught myself and others Robert's Rule of Law and how to relate to other groups. In the book, you'll learn more about my cousin Ralph and others that I'm honored to identify as those who have influenced me. This evening, I'd like to give honor to my wife, who is very influential in my life. Of course, my parents, my ancestors, my siblings, a host of friends and mentors alike. Ralph Malone has influenced me more in death than in life, because when he passed, I was unable to make it to his funeral. But the last thing that I remember that he said to me was, when the last time I saw him, he wanted to talk to me, but I refused to listen. I was too busy. He said, I'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks. We can talk then. In 2 or 3 weeks, he passed away. But he told me then he was always going to be with me doing whatever I was doing, and he was going to live his life through me. I didn't understand it then, but I understand now. All the things that he was doing, I have since done. I have worked
Martin, we got to ask you to wrap it up. I know
Okay.
this, but listen, guys, this is the thing. What folks are giving us are teasers for what they've written. So this should tease you as folks are talking about what they're doing, because we can't give everything away. But Martin, I want to give you like 5 seconds to wrap it up. And then we're going to move to Mary Simmons, I think, after that. So I apologize for that.
No, you don't need to apologize. I have been doing an overview anyway. But in death, Ralph has influenced me because one of the things that, or some of the things that he neglected to do, I have actually done. So when I think about it, he is living through me, and I am following his journey and living the life that he would be proud of. Thank you for listening, and please read the book.
Thank you, Martin Davis. We really appreciate you. I'll reemphasize what Natalie has said. We have more speakers, more people that want to talk about who influenced you. When you hear the bell, that means you have about 15 seconds to wrap it up. I just want to let you guys know we have so many people we want to hear from. And now our next speaker, Dr. Marie.
All right, we have Mary Simmons up next, and then Michelle Walker Davis right after Mary. The mic is yours, Mary Simmons.
Okay, thank you. Let's not sweat the small stuff, or the small stuff will swallow you and you and you. I am Mary Simmons, and today I share about the people who influenced me. My purpose in life is making a difference for others. It serves me daily, getting me out of bed, energized and ready to go. I surprisingly discovered it was similar to my father's, as you will discover when you read my chapter. For now, I want you to reflect on your purpose, drop it in the chat while I tell you my story. I heard that my father said that in his era, the bulk of the population of color walked barefooted to work in one set of patched clothing they owned and washed at night and put on the next day to go to work long hours for low wages. They lived a bare existence, an existence maintained after a legacy of man-made inhumanity by greedy leadership determined to maintain their wealth by unfairly exacting labor. He declared his God-given purpose was to bring about improvements in the living conditions for future generations. He lived that purpose, as I too committed to do. I met Woizero Tigist, a farmer in northern Ethiopia in 1992, just after the end of the combined man-made and natural disasters of war and famine. Her living conditions were a stark image of how populations are impacted by their historical context. The type of impact my father witnessed and set about to help transform. Talk about bare existence. Woizero Tigist depended on United Nations relief food, having pawned her few possessions. All that remained in her bare hut were cooking and water fetching utensils, a wood stove, sleeping on floor mats, and the well-worn clothes she wore. In life, we get so carried away by the small stuff, little incidents we complain about, like not being able to go to a movie or dancing or getting our nails done during COVID. We focus on ourselves and petty complaints, oblivious to the inequality around us. So on my life's journey, whenever I am tempted to be distracted by the small stuff and trivial complaints, I think of my father and the people of his time and their bare existence and how they transcended it through efforts of people like him, and how his story is illustrated by that of Wazuro Tigis, whose daily challenge was survival, getting enough food and water. I reconnect to my purpose, making a difference for others, and think George Bernard Shaw's words, this is the true joy of life, the being used for a purpose recognized by your I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
And now we'd love to hear from Michelle Walker Davis. Professor Michelle Walker Davis, the mic is yours.
All right, Michelle, you are muted.
Sorry about that. The women of power and men of valor that shaped my reality. My amazing upbringing by a woman of power and man of valor gave me a global perspective of humanity, humility, and legacy. Who influenced my growth and development as a wife, mother, entrepreneur, philanthropist, global leader, change agent, and to be unstoppable? There have been many, but my top 3 influencers were my mother, father, and my family, the Davis Six. To understand me better is to know my upbringing and family values. I was the first in my family to graduate from college and go on to earn dual master's degrees from Syracuse University. My older siblings would start and not finish. Dennis chose a rewarding career in the Army, Maureen got married, and Lamont chose business ownership. My parents would be there for me every step, every hurdle to cheer me on. As a result, our extended family became Syracuse Orangemen. My parents were so proud that when they asked what I wanted for a graduation gift, I said a brand new BMW, and that's what I got. It was delivered on a Friday, and I drove it home from Syracuse, stripping gears all the way, as my first job would begin on Monday. Let's just say that car posed a huge problem for me, and I learned from a coworker a BMW stood for a Black man's wish. The audacity that I would own one. That car put a target on my back. My mindset, I could do all things with those 2 dynamos, my biggest cheerleaders believing in me. My parents supported higher education and were very proud of the 20+ degrees held by their legacies. They attended every graduation, no matter the distance or health challenges. The best way to support someone is to show up for them, and they did. Through this union, they produced 6 children, 13 grands, and 6 great-grands. These souls celebrated 67 years of marriage and left this earth one right after the other, together forever. As a military brat, yes, I was spoiled, but not spoiled rotten. You see, my baby brother Maurice was born 10 years later on Christmas Day. Meet Mary Fulmore Walker, a powerful woman with grace, style, and beauty. This 100-pound woman, the oldest of 5 Fulmore girls, rose to the ranks of family matriarch when her mother died prematurely. Mom had no brothers to defend her, therefore she was tough as nails, the rock and pillar of strength to the family. Everything I learned about womanhood, self-determination, being bold and fearless, I learned from this small in stature, yet iconic in status woman. Mom always said, one mother could take care of 10 children, but 10 children could not take care of one mother. Mom preached truth. Although I was a daddy's girl, I was also a good blend of both my mother and my father. My father inspired my love for travel, meeting new people of various cultures, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, and what to look for and appreciate in a man. This gentle giant would heavily influence who I married and chose to build a family empire with. To learn more about my influencers, purchase the book. Thank you to my family that showed up tonight.
I just want to know one thing. Did Jermance Durst sell you that beautiful necklace?
Yes, I believe Jermance did.
All right.
You're fantastic, my sister. Thank you, Michelle.
All right, Jan, you're ready.
Yes. Do you need an engaging voice and personality to promote your product, service, book, company, or be your spokesperson? Then go to janismyvoice.com. I'm Jan Peters from Jan is My Voice, a native New Yorker and a Hampton Institute alum. I'm a professional, seasoned voiceover talent who can grab your target audience and get you noticed. I can be your voice and MC for any events. Contact me at janismyvoice.com or 240-472-7003. Talk for you soon. And now I want the others to talk for you and tell you how they had people influence their lives. I have Dr. Marie Celestin. I also have Mr. Ralph Henderson, who is MBN CFO, and Miss Renee Tangella. So come on in, Dr. Marie. You've heard from her, but now you're going to hear more and how she was influenced.
And good evening, everyone. Thank you to all of you who show up tonight. I want to start by asking, how many of you believe that you're here on purpose for a purpose? If you do, type purpose in the chat. I affirm I am here on purpose for a purpose. Let me paint you a picture of my birth and my mother's rise to heaven. 45 years ago, on May 1st, my mother was the first to hear me take my first breath. 5 years ago, April 1st, I heard my mother take her last breath. It took that last memorable moment, being by her side, to affirm I am my mother's daughter in life and spirit, that I'm here on purpose for a purpose. I am Dr. Marie, the celestial daughter of Haitian immigrants, raised by strong, hardworking, resilient women. My grandmother, Idora, my mother, Janine Celestin, and my aunt, Margaret, Tante Margot. I come from a lineage of liberators, freedom fighters, trailblazers, healers, birthed by matriarchs who sacrificed themselves so I can live freely and purposefully. I inherited their incomparable work ethic and strong will to excel. Freedom and legacy are my birthrights. Every day, as a free Haitian woman in America, I get to manifest my ancestors' wildest dream. When I tell you, I know who I am. Because of them, I am limitless. Because of them, I am planting seeds of freedom and legacy. My mother's favorite saying was, Petite, gon saison pour toute bagaille, meaning in English, there's a season for everything. That saying is as true today as it was when she was alive. There was a season in my life when I was an unemployed single mother, struggling to feed my only son. That little island girl went on to launch her wellness business, earning a doctorate in education, becoming a best-selling author, all while raising a teenager. When I tell you, I know who I am limitless because of my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. Because of them, I'm planting seeds of freedom and legacy. They instill in me the woman that I am becoming to live a life by design, in alignment with my divine assignment. Every day, I'm strengthened by their spirit, memories, knowing they're always with me. Their collective influence has given me the power to grow seeds of freedom, my own legacy, and that of generations to come. When I tell you I know who I am limitless because of them. Because of them, I'm planting seeds of freedom and legacy. Today, while you're still breathing, I want to remind you, affirm that you too are here on purpose for a purpose. Starting right now, in this moment, I want to ask you, are you willing to plant your own seeds of legacy and freedom? I'm Dr. Marie. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marie, planting seeds. So listen, guys, here's what I want you to know. We have plenty more authors to come. However, after the next two authors, who will be Ralph and Renee Tangella, Ralph Henderson and Renee Tangella, after them, we're going to have Dennis Kimbrough come to the stage. So we're going to move our keynote speaker right in the middle of our authors. I'm assure you this is going to be great. So Ralph, get ready. Renee, get ready. Jan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nat. All right. We have our CFO of MBN, Mr. Ralph Henderson. Come on in, Ralph.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. I didn't know it was going to be this formal. I don't have any notes, but who influenced me? I was raised by a lot of women, but the two that immediately come to mind is the woman who gave birth to me and my dad's mom. Basically, I admire my mom, and I admire her because she always put me in the best possible circumstances. So much so, my story is quite boring. I got instructions on what to do by my mom. I did it, and it turned out really well for me. And so, but the thing that was most influential is when I was a kid, my mom's biggest thing was being my gangster dad's girlfriend / wife. That was her big thing. She had all these expensive gifts he was always giving her, and nice cars. And then one day my dad got locked up, and she woke up out of her stupor, and she went to college, and I watched her go to school at New York University while I was going to first grade or whatever. And there was many a time when she taught me how to basically run the house, because she said she wanted things done when she got home. She wanted things clean, and she wanted her food cooked, but she was tired and she had to get up and go to work and go to school. So I had to take care of those things, and she taught me how to do them. So I was very, very lucky insofar as having a person who was so honest with me about what I needed to do as an individual, as a father, as a husband, as all the other things that I needed to do. So my dad's mom, she was just very kind. She took care of me as if I were her son. And, it was, as I progressed through life, I know that people have an affinity for me, but I already know what it feels like when somebody absolutely has got you. So anyway, that's my story.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. All right.
Okay.
You rocked it without any notes. So now we appreciate that story, and lots of us have our mothers as our influence. And for my last group of influencers, I have Dr. Renee Tangella. Come on, Renee, and give us your story, and then Rita Pilot will come on in.
Hello, MBN family. What I want to speak about tonight is my mother. There are many things I can say about her. Frances May Allen was born in 1936. She is now an angel, an ancestor, and has left her legacy, her footprint on my heart, my mind, and my soul. My mother was one of those people who spoke louder, her actions spoke louder than her words. We had a special bond. I was born on her birthday. July 1st is the day we share. I was the middle child who I believe was chosen to be there. I was a part of a tumultuous family of which I was a part. My mother gave her heart, but her heart was broken. So we got pieces of her heart split into 4. But I was the one who sought to bring more unity to her family, to give to myself, to uplift our family out from the dark. As I look back over my life, a little spark was all it took. I was the child that followed my mother from foot to foot. I was there to help. I was a child who listened and didn't ask for much, but I also was a child that had a lot to say. And I had a lot to say, even though at times it was not wanted. In spite of it all, our ups and downs, I have accomplished much. Only with my mother's hand and spirit, a gentle push and touch. But I was never asked, but was expected to do and be a lot for everyone, oftentimes leaving myself empty. My lessons of service and love and persistence and fortitude, my mama has taught throughout her life. In her footsteps, I have walked. I was born on my mother's birthday. July 1st is the day we share. In my heart and my soul, my mother's imprint will always be there. My name is Dr. Renee Tangella. I'm the daughter of Frances and Willie Allen. I want to thank all my family and all of you for all your love and support. Your being here means everything.
Thank you so much, Dr. Renee. That's all right, sister. It's all right. Now I would like to go ahead and bring in Dr. Rita Pilot. Rita, if you can come on in and bring Dr. Kimbrough in to rock us on.
What a pleasure. What an honor. I am thrilled to be here tonight. I'm Rita Pilot. I'm CEO of Profits Plus Coaching, and I connect you to coaches, experts, and the resources that you need for your business to succeed. I have the distinct honor of introducing Dr. Kimbrough tonight. He is a tireless educator, best-selling author, business school professor, and he's universally recognized as an authority on leadership, wealth, and success. As one of today's top speakers, he shares his principles and insights on peak performance with thousands of followers all over the globe. As a lecturer and researcher in the field of management, entrepreneurship, and human potential, Dr. Kimbrough encourages his readers to look within, to extract the keys that underlie all accomplishments. He received his BA from the University of Oklahoma, an MA and a doctorate from Northwestern, where he studied wealth and poverty among underdeveloped countries. Dr. Kimbrough is best known for Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, in which he combined best-selling author Napoleon Hill's Law of Success with his own vast knowledge of business, contemporary affairs, and the vibrant culture of Black America to teach each and every one of us the secrets to success. The result is an inspiring, practical, clear, and workable guide to unlocking the treasure that you have always dreamed of, the treasure that at last is within your reach. Dr. Kimbrough comes tonight to focus on the imperative of leaving a legacy of success and wealth. And with that, I give you Dr. Kimbrough.
Thank you very much. I hope and pray that everybody can hear me. What's the measure of a well-lived life? Is it how big? Is it how vast? Is it how broad? Is it how fluent? Is it how wealthy? It's none of that. It's how many lives you have touched along the way. Canon Farrar, the philosopher, said, I am only one, but I am one. I can't do everything, but I can do something. And what I ought to do by the grace of God, I will do. And what do you need to do? All you got to do is turn to Luke 2:49. Jesus, where in the world have you been? He's been missing for a couple of days and they were looking for him. And what was his retort? You're looking for me? You should have known where I was. I was about my Father's business. And my God, what is your Father's business? It's your Father's business is development. Your Father's business is being better today than you were yesterday. Your Father's business is growth. Your Father's business is the same thing that W.B. Du Bois, your most prolific scholar. When the students at Atlanta University walked into his class, what did Du Bois always say? Paideia, paideia, always paideia. Well, what in the world is paideia? It's the Greek term for knowledge. It is the Greek term for wisdom. It is the Greek term for education, for understanding. And that's what we need today. Get in control of your mind. We need a paradigm shift. If there's anything that I've discovered in my life, I don't care whether it was Think and Grow Rich or Black Choice, What Makes the Great Great, or the Wealth Choice, is that greatness is not about genetics. Greatness is about mechanics. Number one, hopefully, if I ask you what you do for a living, you might tell me that it's work. You might tell me that it's hard. You might tell me that it's effort. You might tell me that it's drudgery. Well, hopefully you might tell me that you're on a mission. And with a mission comes passion, and with compassion comes commitment. And what do we know when passion and commitment strike the same chord? The passionate, committed mind can never be defeated. The passionate, committed mind can never be defeated. If it could be defeated, there would be no Oprah Winfrey. There would be no Bill Gates. There would be no Steve Jobs. There would be no John Johnson. There would be no nothing. Number two, hopefully your work is a calling. What did Steve Harvey tell me? A career is what you're made for. A career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. So what have you been called to do? And what are those 4 questions? If you don't know your calling, you've got to ask yourself these 4 questions. Number one, where have you been? I might be the oldest person on this Zoom call, me and brother George Fraser. In December, I'll be knocking on 72 years old, man. So I've been around the block a couple of times. Well, where have you been? Number two, what can you do? What is your value add? What is your value proposition? So what can you do? Do you even know? And if you don't know, I need to know why you don't know. In other words, what is your area of excellence? Ask yourself those questions, man. What would you do for free? If no one ever paid you a dime for your financial reward, if no one ever paid you any money in terms of your remuneration, what would you do for free? Because when you're doing it for free, your work is your play. And if your work is your play, you'll never work a day in your life. Question number three. Who is the most pitiful individual in the room? Any man or woman with sight without vision. Who is the most desperate individual in the room? Any man or woman without hope. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy in life is to be alive and not know why. And then last but not least, where are you going? And you can't go forward if you're looking over your shoulder and looking at the past. If you're going forward while you're looking in the rear view mirror, well, my parents were poor and I came from an impoverished neighborhood and my brother is incarcerated and this and that. Those are circumstances. And if there's anything that I've uncovered about the wealthy, for 7 years, I surveyed and interviewed more than 1,000 Black millionaires. And I'm here to tell you that wealth is not, wealth is not a condition of where you were born and what side of town and what side of the tracks and your educational level and your networking skills and this and that. No, but wealth is a condition of faith. It is a condition of loyalty. It is a condition of determination, and it is a condition of work. So the bottom line is, what is greatness? Number one, deliberate practice. Deliberate practice. Number two, associate with the best. Be very particular who you surround yourself with. And last but not least, total craft mastery. Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe we couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say till he tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried he'd hit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it. But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we know, he'd begun it with the lift of his chin and a bit of a grin without any doubting or quitting. He started to sing as he tackled the thing. Well, we talked about the great leaders. DrGeorgeFraser did that. He told you about Marcus Garvey spitting his face, and I'll show you Marcus Garvey. Slammed the school door in her face, and she becomes Mary McLeod Bethune. Tell her that she will never be free, and she becomes Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman made 19 trips to the South. 19 times Harriet Tubman gave up her freedom to bring somebody else to freedom. And what did she say when she was fighting for that last breath? Yes, she led 836 souls to freedom. But she said, I could have freed thousands more had they only known that they were slaves. Well, there it is in a nutshell. You want to live a well-lived life, then you've got to make a difference. And there's only 4 things you got to do in order to make a difference. Number 1, you want to make a difference. Number 2, you want to make a difference with somebody else who wants to make a difference. Number 3, you want to make a difference with somebody else making a difference, doing something that makes a difference. And number 4, you want to make a difference with others who makes a difference, doing something that makes a difference at a time when it makes all the difference in the world. And just like the data that we saw at the beginning of this session, this is the time to make the difference. You got 195 countries that belong to the United Nations, and in terms of wealth, Black America, you're number 16 in terms of your wealth. So money is not a problem. It's what we do with our money. And going back to DrGeorgeFraser, one of the first speakers on this session, he said that we need a paradigm shift, a shift in our thinking. I want to thank you for being on this podcast and giving me these little feeble minutes to make a difference. God bless you and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.
Brilliant, Dr. Tubman. Brilliant, brilliant.
Tremendous, tremendous. That was fantastic.
Amen. Amen and amen again.
That's
right.
Dr. Kimbrough, this is Stan Matthews. We thank you for being here, sir.
Man, thanks for having me, my brother. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it and stay Black.
I loved especially the part where a young woman was telling you she was going on a play date and you said, you can use my truck or I'll come and pick you up. Who was that young woman you were talking to?
Wow, praise God.
That was your daughter?
Yep.
And when we talk about influencing, would you agree that the best leadership is a great example?
Oh, without a doubt. But the best definition that I love of leadership, leadership is a journey. You invite others to take a journey with you while they're discovering themselves, and that is true leadership. Leadership has nothing to do with inspiration, has nothing to do with motivation. It has nothing to do with level 5 leadership. I don't care if you read Stephen Covey, John Maxwell, or the rest, but it's about connecting with people and it's about discovering. You see, this journey that we call life is nothing but a classroom, and it's unlike any classroom that you've ever been in. What is so different about it? You're not only the teacher, but you're the student. So make sure you teach yourself well. And that's the heart of true leadership.
Dr. Kimbrough, one final question I have for you. The ministry and mission of MBN started 7 years ago with my partner, Ralph Henderson, and our chairman, Mr. Eugene Poole. The University of Georgia Business School, the Department of Labor, and the Treasury Department told us that in 2021, African Americans had 1.6 trillion we spent in the US economy. Our Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters spent 2.3 trillion. Our Native American and Asia Pacific Island brothers and sisters spent 875 billion. That means, Dr. Kimbrough, that brown, the black, and the red had 4.1 trillion that we spent into the US economy. Our mission is to increase the 2% we spend with each other to 20%. Dr. Kimbrough, why on earth do we spend so little with each other?
Because we don't know the difference between cash flow and cash stay. And what do I mean by that? Well, hey, you know all the nuances of cash flow. Money comes in and then money comes out. Well, what we need in the Black community, we need money to come in and it needs to stay in. And the only way that is going to occur is through love. It is through love. And we saw it yesterday, or I just saw it on CNN this morning, and I'm so glad I didn't see it yesterday, that nonsense that we saw. I mean, come on, man, that's a sermon for another Sunday, but that has a different prevailing, deep-seated attitude in the Black community. But here's the good news. We did it before, and we can do it again. And
Amen.
When did we do it before? Well, we did it in 1921. You may not know this, but my, God rest her soul, my mother-in-law was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the early 1920s. And she always told the story of her father coming home in the middle of the day, scooping up the family members, told everybody, only get what you can carry and we got to get out of here. And I said, where are we going? I don't know, but we're leaving here. And they eventually moved to Oklahoma City. They lived in those 3,600 square blocks in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. And what went on in those 3,600 square blocks? Well, there were more than 600 businesses. You had more than 21 churches. You had more than 30 grocery stores. I mean, you had 3 movie theaters. You had what, 7 or 8 churches or whatever? You had a post office. You had a school system in which one of the teachers was from my alma mater, Northwestern University. I mean, what are the odds of that? Well, again, if you can do it in 1921, you can do it again. Now, they tell me that the average dollar in the East Indian community stays there for 45 days before leaving. They tell me that the average dollar in the Chinese community stays there 24 days before leaving. They tell me that the average dollar in the Jewish community stays there 19 days before leaving. Well, the average dollar in the Black community stays there 6 hours before leaving. 6 hours before leaving, because we don't know a damn thing about financial literacy and the power of compounding effect. Don't you know, as late as 1930, there were 135 Black banks across the country. Here we are today, the end of March in 2022. You'd be hard pressed to find 35. And it isn't so much of these 35 Black banks, is who are the customers, who are the consumers? Well, the low income folks with minimum deposits and multiple withdrawals. Again, we can't benefit from the compounding effect, but I know a way out. If we can just get Black America to develop and adhere to this strategy, number one, we got to support Black businesses. We've got to support Black business. You go to the Commerce Department right now, and they tell you there were more than 2 million Black businesses, but they're not entrepreneurial. They fall into 3 different categories. Number one, yeah, these are entrepreneurs, and you got to go through 5 phases to be an entrepreneur. But the bulk of them are small businesses. If you run and operate a small business, well, you just run and operate a small business. But if you are an entrepreneur, you got the propensity to change the world. So those are the top 2. And what is number 3? Well, we got a bulk of business owners, and they're really not business owners. They are really into income replacement. I don't care, they're selling hats, they're selling t-shirts, they're selling beads online. They're really not small businesses, and they're not entrepreneurs. All they care about is making enough money, get the clothes out the cleaners, keeping a roof over their head, and putting food on the table. But we have got to develop Black businesses in emerging markets where we employ others. So that's number 1. Number 2, we got to get on the bandwagon to make sure that women are paid on a compensatory level with men.
Amen.
Dollar for dollar. Dollar for dollar. Now, the average white female will earn anywhere between 82 cents to 88 cents of a white male, or even me, dollar for dollar. But a Black woman, 68 cents to 75 cents. Now, why do I want Black women to be on par with males? Because when you look at our households, more than 72% women aren't a contributing factor. Women are the sole and primary factor of the finances in that household. So Dr. Kimber, what the hell are you saying, my brother? I'm saying if we would pay Black women dollar for dollar what we would pay a male, you would end poverty overnight. Did you hear what I said? We don't need these social programs. You would end poverty overnight.
Preach, Dr.
And then last but not least,
You got that right.
Not least, we got to support HBCUs. You got to support historically Black colleges, universities. These schools, these 109 schools only enroll 5% of all the Black students, all the Black kids in the universe here in the United States, but they graduate and produce 30%.
Yeah.
Go ahead, look at me. I'm probably the best case study. My internist for more than 20 years, yeah, he got his medical degree from Emory, but where did he finish undergrad? Hampton. Look at my dentist. My dentist, yeah, he got his dental degree from Harvard, but where did he finish undergrad? North Carolina Central. My CPA, yeah, he got his CPA license. He went online and got it, but undergrad HBCU. They are the producing class, and that's the track. That's the 3-legged stool that we have got to sit on, and it doesn't take forever to do that.
Dr. Kimbrough, I am giving you a virtual standing ovation. That is Infinite, unexpiring.
Please come back. Please come back.
I have one question for you. On tomorrow morning, can you spare me 5 minutes so that we can talk together about how the 2,215 CEOs in my organization can have an ongoing friendship and relationship with you so that we can marry the Black consumer, the brown consumer, the red consumer with $4.1 trillion, with the Black producers that you just mentioned and the Black professionals that you just mentioned. Dr. George, as you know, is my mentor and friend. And I want us to talk together just for 5 minutes so that we make the connection. I want you to know one of your students, my brother Sherman Riggins, is probably doing cartwheels and back flips for what you put together at Princeton University. So let us reason together. I believe that your leadership, Dr. George's leadership, Sherman's leadership, my executive team here in MBN is committed completely to turning the dial the other way. We can do this. The Bible says that we are transformed by the renewing of our minds.
Yep.
So we want to renew our minds and do a different thing than what we have done. I have said often that if Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X knew that we had 4.1 trillion between the Black, the brown, and the red, they would get up out of the grave and beat all of us with a stick.
Yeah.
We have got to take responsibility for this, or it's lights out. So Dr. Kimbrough, can we have a conversation on tomorrow morning at the time of your choosing so that we can put in place a framework where we can work together?
I would be honored. Now you got to remember, I got class on Tuesday, Thursday, so you go ahead and call me. Hey, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow morning or it might be I got back-to-back classes, but we'll go ahead and get it done. But I gotta say this, when I saw that nonsense that was draped across the landscape, last night I saw it on CNN. I was wondering why my phone was blowing up and folks wanted my comments. Okay. So he gets upset and he smacks the hell out of him. And then for 72 hours, they took that little Black woman and threw her under a bus. Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, and they didn't even get a slap on the wrist. We gotta love each other, Black America. Get it through your head. Love is the bottom line. Money's not the bottom line. Look, damn it, love is the bottom line. You love your customers, entrepreneur, you're gonna get more customers. You love your co-workers, corporate climber, you're gonna make manager in no time. You love your job, you're gonna get the parking space closest to the building. Love is the bottom line and love is the master plan.
Amen.
Dr. Kimbrough, we thank you for being here this evening. Every generation, God raises up one among us who he has appointed and anointed with the right information, the right inspiration to take us where we need to be. I thank my friend Pam Perry for the connection. Pam, I know you were with us this night. You know I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Dr. Kimbrough, the Matthews Business Network stands ready to work with you in any way that you want to work. We're going to move on now to the last 8 authors and who influenced you. I think Dr. Fraser wants to ask you if you would lend a quote to the back cover of the book. And so when we talk, if you'd like to do that, we would love to have you leave a quote to these great contributing authors of what you would call them to do. Our assignment, if 100 years from now, someone picks up that book, Who Influenced You, what would you say to them?
I will do anything for my brother, George Fraser.
Y'all heard it, y'all a witness. Thank you so much, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, Natalie Stokes-Peters, our senior host. I send it back to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kimbrough, for being here.
Thank you again, Dr. Kimbrough. We appreciate you being here for all of us. We appreciate your words of advice. We won't be able to take additional questions, I don't think, at this time, but I believe you had your information in the chat for where people could send you questions directly. I believe I saw that in there. So please use that information that's in the chat. We will have that available. All right. So let's get back to our authors. He has been listening in, so there's no doubt that he knows what it is you all are bringing in the form of this book. So what I want to do is pass the mic to Rodney Burris, who will bring us our next group of authors.
Absolutely. Authors, pay attention. Good afternoon, good evening, good people. I'm going to say your names. Get yourselves together while I introduce myself. But first and foremost, Rhonda, please get ready. Shirley Caraway Brown, please prepare yourself. And Sister Shirley Muhammad. With that being said, for all of my business leaders out there, supervisors, managers, CEOs, directors, you ever felt like firing everybody and just starting over? You have a team of people that seem like they're not just producing. Folks are not aligned. They need to have their potential unlocked. My name is Rodney C. Burris. I'm one of the nation's top leaders in unlocking human potential and inspiring organizations to greatness. I'll put my information in the chat. Let's work together, get your people to level up. Cool? With that being said, Sister Rhonda, please unmute yourself, turn on your beautiful camera, and come onto the stage. Sister Rhonda, you are muted. You have to unmute, baby girl. Thank you so much.
All righty. Hut, 2, 3, 4, ain't gonna have to work no more. 5, 6, 7, 8, never gonna see those pearly gates. Cadence, discipline, respect, Air Force Blue Jets, my life as a military brat. Daughter of Lieutenant Colonel Harlan Q. Leonard Jr., my #1 influence. At 19, he answered the call and headed to Tuskegee to become a pilot. The pressure was immense. The washout rate, 80%. For every 10 pilots, only 2 graduates. Cadets perished when their planes fell from the sky because they were substandard. Daddy said, never quit, no matter how difficult, how bad you feel, or humiliating. Never compare yourself to others. Always complete the mission. Complete the mission, he did. Graduated Tuskegee, flew 9 different aircraft, earned a master's in physics as an engineer, taught math and physics for the Air Force, logged 20,000 hours in the sky, retired with honors Lieutenant Colonel Harlan Q. Leonard Jr., original Tuskegee Airman, awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. He always challenged us to be one step better than he. Be the first. He got a college degree, I got 2. He got a master's, I got an MBA. I was one of the first of 3 Black women mathematicians for the U.S. Naval Undersea Research and Development Center, published in the International Electronic Engineering magazine. I graduated law school. Respect others, their property, religion, Mother Nature, and all her creatures. We experienced life's greatness, from pianos, sports, museums, and concerts, to camping from the Shenandoahs into Canada and all over the North Southwest. Daddy was very diplomatic. He always listened to both sides of our story. Big things were never up for debate. First, always save 10%, whether it was tooth fairy money or babysitting money. Second, after high school, college, period. Third, do not do anything other than the best you can do, plus a little bit more, but always do 10 times better just to be accepted. Most important, he instilled gratitude, respect, and protect the family. Disrespect my dad, I was in your face. You will respect my father. Gratitude to my beautiful mother, Bertha, who is now an angel. Jeffrey, my love, my husband for 36 years. My children, my greatest achievements. My sparkling crown jewels, the Fab Five, Tahira, Mira, Amber, Sean, and Nico, who became the Magnificent Seven when David and Jennifer joined, and now the Tenacious 10 with G babies, Sophia, Miles, and Julius. And to the ancestors whose cries still haunt me from the slave ships and the reservations. But Daddy, you are my pillar. Blunt, but constructive criticism, gentleness, not afraid to crack the whip. You laugh, cry with me for your life and belief into me. The fluence you gave me is driven deep. Your principles are my super glue. I met the challenge, Daddy. I hope I did you proud. I love you to the moon and back, and I love being your baby girl. I don't know, but I've been told, 2, 3, 4. This whole world is mighty cold. 2, 3, 4.
3, 4.
10 times better, you see? 2, 3,
3,
4.
4.
Just get that life degree. This is Rhonda Leonard Horowitz, daughter of Tuskegee Airmen. Always complete the mission. Thanking Stan Matthews for making all of this possible. Out.
Very good, Rhonda. Great way to wrap it all up. We're going to keep it moving. Sister Shirley Caraway Brown, if you are ready, please come onto the stage. Sister Shirley Caraway Brown, please come to the stage. Shanice, please message me if you are also in the audience. Sister Caraway Brown.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
I don't know. I don't think my
Your camera is working too well?
yeah, I don't think it works that well. So that's because I don't hardly turn it on. So
Well, you're
sorry
beautiful to
about
us
that.
anyway. Feel free to share. Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. Please feel
Thank
free.
you. Good evening, Embryon family. I want to talk about gratitude. In the Influence Me chapter that I have, I want to talk about gratitude. I became a master of denying my own light. I did make sure that I kept it at an even tone, not too much, not too bright, not exuberant, or not overpowering, just so. In fact, I called myself a master in disguise, but you know what? I was the one fooling everybody, I thought. But the funny thing about this whole event is that my light just kept shining. Even though I kept trying to pull it back, it kept popping up and shining. Different people would see my light and wonder, well, what is she going to do with all that? My history teacher, Mr. Stafford, was the first one. My granny was the second one that kept it continuous. And then my husband, who is still my husband, kept pushing me forward. He taught me, the biggest thing he taught me is to not get caught up in the negative, but push beyond it. The promise was always there, but I kept trying to hide it. I could always see the light in other people, but I really didn't see it that deep in myself. But I was grateful. My latest encounter was with this lady I call my angel. She calls me Sunshine. Every morning she would say, "Good morning, Sunshine." And I would look back at her. I'd either smile or give a glance. And she would come back and say, "If I don't see that smile, I'm going to have to adjust your crown." Now, is that queenly or what? I just would laugh and she would go on, but she did not know what she was actually doing. She was building me up. She was kicking back all that negative light that was trying to come into my life. She did not see that, but I knew what she was doing underneath. I was getting depressed and she was pulling me out. I want to thank you all for your kind words and your beautiful gestures. I want to thank you for the flowers that have given to me from all the spectrums of the rainbow. I am forever grateful for my special loved one. I want to be thankful. I am thankful for my fantastic 4. I am thankful for my 12 grandchildren and my 1 great-grandchild.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown, there's somebody really special that just wants to say hello. Terrence, got 2 seconds, brother, please. Congratulations,
Thank you, Rodney.
wonderful mother.
So, Mom, we just want to say how proud we are of you for this moment on behalf of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your entire family. We are so proud of you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Brother Terrence Brown. With that being said, Sister Shirley Muhammad, please come forward.
Good evening, everyone. Stan and all those who came before me, thank you so much. It's just a gratitude. In the name of Allah, God, the one true and living God, I would like to take this time to introduce to one of my persons who in my life influenced me. I call him the worldwide hip hop promoter. As I wrote my book, I had to ask myself, why would I buy this book? This book will inspire and encourage us to do great things despite the adversity that comes into our lives, and to know that out of adversity comes creativity and opportunity. You can choose your friends, but you sure can't choose your family. And they're still kin to you no matter whether you acknowledge them or not. And it makes you look right silly when you don't. This is a quote from Harper Lee out of To Kill a Mockingbird. This book that I am grateful to be a part of is not for you if you never lost a loved one. This book is not for you if you cannot fathom how you are going to recover after the transitioning of that special person who you love and how they influenced you. And certainly, this book is not for you if you don't believe that adversity is creativity disguised. I want to share something personal. I gave birth to my son, Dwayne Tolbert Muhammad, as a single mother at the age of 14 years old. My desire for my son as a young teenager was to raise a strong Black man who would know how to mix the bitter with the sweet, and to teach him to not let the street life be the only life to know. And don't let alcohol and dope become your medication. By God's permission, I did it. Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest. My son returned to Allah shortly after his 40th birthday, and I contribute his death to medical apartheid, the dark history of medical experimentation on Black Americans from colonial times to the present. My one and my only, my rock, my business partner, and he taught me the science of business. When I had the strength to go through his personal belongings after he went to do something else, I found the exact book that I saw my father reading, who happened to be also a sharecropper. I came to learn that this book was required reading with the Nation of Islam as well. And that book would be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. From then to grow, from I'm sorry, from then to
Shirley,
now.
we're gonna jump in.
Okay.
No. Your story was so inspiring. It sounded so much about like how my mother has talked to me. I think I told you that early in the week. But thank you so much, Sister Shirley, for sharing your time with us.
You're welcome.
Rodney, I'd like to hear the last 10 seconds. Go ahead, Shirley.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Stan. My son and only, my rock, my business partner, and he taught me the science of business. When I had the strength to go through his belongings after he went to go do something else, I found the exact book that I saw my father reading. By the way, my father was a sharecropper. I came to learn that this book was required reading with the Nation of Islam, and that book would be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. From then to now, that book has been my inspiration and motivation to think and grow rich. In closing, please answer the following 4 questions. If the person who influenced you returned to their Heavenly Father, how would you become stronger? How would you become wiser? How would you know that you are better? And how would you know that God was there for you? My book is entitled, I Never Could Have Made It. And I want to thank all my attendants and you for being here. And remember, love, live, and love, live your legend. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't pick the mic up off the floor, Shirley. Just leave it on the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stan. Thank you so much, Sister Shirley. With that being said, I am going to turn the mic back over so we can keep this train moving. Who is introducing? I believe this is Rita.
That would be me.
Come on to the stage, Rita.
Hi, everybody. Rita Pilot, Coach's Corner Director, and we're about to land this plane. I'm so glad you all stuck in for this great night. And I want to say a special thank you to the people who do things behind the scenes, in particular, Monica Felicier, who was key to making this night happen. I want Rodney Burris, Sherrod Ledette, Stan Matthews, and Vi Brown to get ready because it's time to bring it home. Rodney, I know you're ready. Come on in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rita Pilot. So I'm going to share this story really quickly and get on out of the way. Imagine walking into a place that just feels like love. I hope you guys can see me. Imagine a place that you didn't know that you needed, right? You didn't know it was something that you were missing, and you get there and every single time you feel embraced. That was the barbershop for me. So between the ages of about 13 to 17 years old, I felt myself embraced by a group of men led by a gentleman by the name of Dexter Binder, who saw my mom doing her best with 3 children as a single woman, making too much more money on paper to get assistance, but not making enough to sometimes keep food in the house. And he saw me, I had potential, I had fairly decent grades. Sometimes I was getting in trouble for being a little ruffian. And he said, Rodney, every time you bring straight A's in here, I'm going to give you a haircut. That went from report cards to quizzes, to tests, to projects. But more than that, I felt embraced. I felt loved. And I'm telling you, it was the anticipation of going into a space, being embraced by so many men that made me get through some of the roughest parts of my adolescence. In addition to that, there was a gentleman by the name of Daryl McCoy, who was like a second father to so many of us, especially to me. And last but not least, there's a gentleman by the name of Darnell Smith, who took me under his arm, bought me a coat when I didn't have one, worked on a science project with me. These men influenced me, and they put me in a position where I was able to make different choices faced with similar circumstances that put some of my colleagues in the box. With that being said, I want to yield the mic. I'm so grateful for having this time to share with you all tonight. My name is Rodney C. Burris. Rita, feel free.
Thank you so much, Rodney. Next, we're going to hear from Sherrod Ledette and then Vi Brown. Sherrod, come on in.
Thank you. Daddy, can you help me? So I want you guys to think about a puzzle. In the chat, tell me, when you think of the word puzzle, what comes to mind? Daddy, can you help me? So these were the words that my daughter gave me when we had came back from my parents' house and she got a puzzle. And this puzzle she got was because she liked the picture on the box. Again, it was a puzzle. She liked the picture on the box. So we get to the house and she comes and she's like, Daddy, can you help me? Of course, baby girl, I can help you. So we get downstairs. I see where she's at and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I want to put the puzzle together. So what does she do? She opened the box, she dumped the puzzle out, and then she tries to put the puzzle together. And I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? I don't know, Daddy, but help me. So I said, so where's the picture? She said, it's on the box. I said, okay, but where's the box? She said, it's right here. Now the picture was face down, but yet she wanted me to help her to put the puzzle together. She said, Daddy, can you help me? I said, yes, baby girl, I can help you. So I tell you what, why won't we look at the picture, put the picture so we can see the picture. She said, okay. And I said, I'm going to take the rest of the puzzle pieces and I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to give you the pieces to the edges so you can put it together. With frustration, she got through it, but she started to put the edges together. She said, Daddy, can you help me? I said, yes. So then I said, let's focus on this aspect of the picture. So as she focused on areas of the picture, I gave her specific pieces of the puzzle that matched that part of the picture. And the reason why I shared this story with you is because one of the influences in my life handed me my pieces to the puzzle. I want to share a quote with you. You are a piece of the puzzle of someone else's life. You may never know where you fit, but others will fill the holes of their lives with pieces of you. I handed my daughter the pieces to the puzzle so she could succeed in fixing and putting together the picture of the puzzle that she loved, that she liked. My mom was this person for me. She handed me the pieces to my puzzle. She helped me see things that I didn't see. She allowed me to understand that my picture was mine. but she was there to help me with every piece.
Come
I
on.
may not have knew where the piece was, but she handed me the piece. Every conversation, every hug, every embrace, every moment that she shared with me was a piece of my puzzle.
Come on.
So another quote I just want to share and kind of end this with you is this: life is like a puzzle. There may be difficulties finding the right pieces, but in the end, your puzzle will be complete. My mom helped me complete my puzzle. She's still to this day helping me complete my puzzle.
Come on.
When you read the book, Who Influenced You, you're going to find other pieces to my puzzle. There are people on this call that are pieces to my puzzle.
Come on.
And I just want to thank everyone who's on this call. I want to thank everyone who's been an influence in my life. I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to share this with you. And Mom, I love you and I thank you for every piece of the puzzle you gave me.
Be strong, my brother. Live your
Amen. Amen.
legend, Professor Ledette.
There you go.
Chucky, that's a bad man.
Bad man.
I want to say this. You see that handsome young professor? I want to say this to the men that remain in the room. Tears reveal your most deeply held truths. I want to say to the sisters in the room, beware of men that don't cry. Beware of men that don't cry. Tears clarify and uplift and empower. Brother Sherrod, live your legend. Live your legend. Don't wipe those tears. Don't wipe those tears. Ain't nothing like a black mama. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful tribute. Beautiful. Vi Brown. Come on in, Vi.
Thank you, Rita. Atanaya, all that I need, I already have. My Uncle Leroy was reared by his grandfather, Charlie Hubbard, in rural Orangeburg County, South Carolina. His grandfather was blessed to own 426 acres of land that supported a large farming operation. Intelligent and hardworking, Leroy completed high school by age 15 with the hopes of going to college. However, initially he found himself a full-time hired hand working under boss Charlie. While Leroy enjoyed a certain amount of the day-to-day activities of farm life, one thing that he took issue with was his paycheck. While it was clear that he was the most efficient worker that his granddad had, his weekly wages did not reflect that. After a year of complaining about his take-home pay, his grandfather told Leroy, accept your current salary or leave the house. If you leave, you will be disinherited from my will. Leroy was convinced that only an education would save him from a life spent plowing and viewing the backside of a mule. He made the decision to leave his grandfather's estate that day. Uncertain of what was next, he moved in with his uncle and trained to be a master carpenter, a skill that he would use for the rest of his life. He would go on to join the Marine Corps, marry the love of his life, complete medical school at Howard University, and go on to have a successful internal medicine practice in Sacramento. Later, he would also become a licensed pilot with an instrument rating and a certified physician for the Federal Aviation Administration. I often wonder how my uncle's life would have turned out had he stayed. When confronted with the ultimatum to stay or go, all that he needed, he already had: faith and courage. Your gift may put you in peril. Much of my uncle's story is my story. Those who like what you do may not always like the outcomes that your gifts can produce for you. Sometimes dream crushers are in your own house. They often suffer from myopic vision or nearsightedness. Simply put, when it comes to you and me, they don't see us going very far. That is why the gift of stories, whether your own or those of others, is so important when we are confronted with naysayers who are the same characters in a different costume. You will always walk in chains if you don't have a story that can break those chains. Treat yourself like you're worthy, because you are. I have been confronted with dream killers who said to me, your expectations are too high. or let me put you back in your place. Like my uncle and like David in the Bible who fought Goliath, I say, watch me. When confronted with difficulty, we need to invoke Sankofa, a Ghanaian word that means go back and fetch it. We may be required to go back or dig deep within to find the courage and know how to say, I've got this, and I know God's got this for me. Remember, all that you need, you already have. And I'm complete.
Wow, thank you. Bye. Thank you.
You're not complete. You're just getting started.
Okay.
Well, we've got one more author, our very own CEO and founder, Mr. Stan Matthews. Stan, come on in.
Thank you so much, Rita. I want to thank all of you for being here this evening. There's a lot of people who make a mess. There's very few people who make history. You have made history tonight. You have made history tonight. I want to use the number 9 to demonstrate that I am unstoppable, unbreakable, unmovable. I am a winner. I am a winner. You are a winner. Why the number 9? Stan Matthews was born in Georgetown, Guyana in 1964 on May the 16th. When I was 3 years old, one of the number 9 left Georgetown, Guyana to pursue a better life for her and her children in the United States of America, and left me with 2 of the 4. She left me and my sister with Benjamin and Beatrice Andrews. She left me with Lillian and Cecil Matthews. Those are the 4 angels that are part of the 9 that influenced me. As a boy, Cecil Matthews, my paternal grandfather and an adventurer, and Benjamin Andrews, a disciplinarian and a warrior. Lillian Matthews, my paternal grandmother, and Beatrice Andrews, my maternal grandmother, said to me, "You can do anything by God's grace and his power." They said to me, "You can be anything by God's grace and his power." They said to me, "Everything is possible for you." The second 4, Candace Joy Matthews, my firstborn. Andre Michael Matthews, my namesake, and the future governor of the state of New Jersey. My thirdborn, Jari Giovanna Matthews, my sweet, beloved 3rd child. My 4th child, my prophet, Elijah David Matthews. Those are the second 4 of the 9. I am and will always be your provider, your protector, your father, your friend, and your comforter. There is nothing that you could ask me that I will not do. The number 9 is the last one, the one that made me who I am. Maylene Hyacinth Andrews, a tall, lean, strong, intelligent Black woman who came to this country at 19 years old, went to night school, cleaned floors, kept people, took care of people, scrubbed floors, stayed apart from her 2 children for 5 whole years. On January the 3rd of 1972, Pan American Airways flight number 16, the doors opened, and down those stairs came number 9 and number 1, a tall, dark, strong Black woman, had returned for her children in spite of the fact that my cousins teased my sister and I, who would go to the United States of America and have all that America promises and come back for you. Every day I think of that day, watching her come down those stairs. I ran like I never ran before. And I grabbed my mommy's legs. And for the next 2 weeks, I would not let go of this human being. This human being taught me that I could do, be, and have everything in God's will and by God's power. And I say to you this evening, my friends who have gathered with us, you can be, do, and have everything by God's will and by God's power.
Amen.
My mother is now with God. I think of her every Sunday. I go by the Delaware River and talk with her. And she told me what she told me when I was a child and when I was adult. Son, you are a manifestation of God Himself. You have a divine assignment that you must keep. You have a powerful purpose you must fulfill. Many of you think that my business is networking. Some of you think my business is marketing. No, my friends and my family, my business is neither. My business is loving Black people. My business is loving Black people. I believe that Black people gave the world its first civilization and will give it its next. We are the only people that other people wanted so badly, thought they could not do without, that they kidnapped us, brought us to another land. We are the people who gave America its soul, its spirit, and its style. We are the people that fought for America, died for America, and will save America. My mommy taught me, son, you are called for a higher purpose. And that when you put your shoulder to the wheel of the kingdom and look back, you are not fit for its attainment. I will never turn away from my love for you, for everyone here tonight. One day, very soon, we will look back on this night and realize that we have changed the course of history. There is a reason why my last name is Matthews. The Egyptian spiritual tradition of truth, righteousness, and justice is called Ma'at, M-A-A-T. The first book in the Bible is the book of Matthew. I know there's a calling on my life, and that calling is to make sure that I provide all of you with the information, inspiration, and education to build kingdom here on earth. Jesus' disciples asked him, how should we pray? And I'll close with this. He said, thy kingdom come. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. Thy will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. Whatever may be bound in heaven may be bound on earth. We are all kingdom builders, and I will hold you accountable for doing your part as we build God's kingdom here on this earth. There are some of you who have been invited here tonight that are looking for a home to build a business, to get new clients, to get coached up. You are looking for a family. In your email, there was an invitation that came tonight from the Matthews Business Network. To be a member of the Matthews Business Network is an investment tonight of only $299. You would then join a community that has a purchasing power of $165 million per year. I invite you to take advantage of that by clicking the link on the invitation you got. My friends, eagles and turkeys are both birds, but they rarely hang out together. The Matthews Business Network is a platform of eagles, and I invite you to join us.
Thank you, Stan. I want to thank everybody who was here tonight. We pulled off something miraculous, to use one of AM's words. We pulled off a miracle tonight. We brought almost probably 30 voices, including everybody, to the stage tonight. And it was a beautiful song that we sang. So I want to thank you all. I would like to bring in Eugene Poole. Do we want Eugene Poole to close us out, Stan?
Yes.
All right. So Eugene Poole, if you could please come in and close us out. Rita, I don't know if there's anything else you want to do, but you did a heck of a job getting everybody here tonight. Rita, all of our authors did a great job. And this was just an incredible night. So I thank you all. Look, I'm going to call you Dr. Poole.
Natalie, I want to give you some numbers. We maxed out at 321. We were carrying at 903, 172.
Incredible. This was an incredible night, you all. And this is the power of what happens when we all work together, when we talk with each other, when we come together. And so wonderful night. Thank you, Dr. Kimbrough. Thank you, Rita, for getting him in here. Thank you, Stan. Eugene Poole, pray us out.
Thank you, Natalie.
Natalie.
Thank you, everyone, all the speakers, all the hosts, all the podcasters, everybody involved tonight, and especially you, our members and our guests. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this meeting tonight. Help us to always remember as we go that we are on a mission. We're constantly on this mission to make a difference in our communities so that we will not go begging, that we'll be able to support ourselves and do good and pay it forward for so many others. But we thank you for everyone coming tonight and pray that they are inspired and encouraged to take action. In your name we pray. Amen.
Business owners, join a professional network that will help you share the unique value of your products and services with Black and brown customers who have more than $1.6 trillion to spend on an annual basis. Join the Matthews Business Network and get the coaching, the clients, the connections, and the capital you need to succeed. To get growing right now.
I want to thank our chairman, Mr. Eugene Poole, his beautiful wife, Ms. Freddie Mae Poole, who told me yesterday, we use Zoom for church.
Everything.
Zoom for church.
Hallelujah.
I want to thank Queen Mother Harmon, one of the 3 queen mothers of Black people in the United States of America, 90 years old and still doing it. Queen Mother, we love you. Thank you for being here. Rose Presley Austin.
You set my heart on fire tonight.
I want to thank Rose Presley Austin. The first time I met you, I fell in love with your grace, your dignity, and your big-heartedness. Thank you, Rose. I want to thank Charmaine Lopez for being here this evening. Charmaine and George, congratulations on the Empowered Lifestyle Network. I want to thank Mr. Ron Austin for being our newest member. I want to thank those of you who will become members as we grow this family. I want to thank Mr. Aiton Asar, my brother, who is working on a project to reveal the greatness of Black people. Brother Aiton, I thank you for your narrative. I want to thank Mr. A.M. Noel, our membership director, retention specialist. You will find no one more loving than this brother, A.M. Noel. I want to thank our trainer, Mr. Rodney C. Burris, who works tirelessly to train our people. I want to thank our host staff, led by the one and only Natalie Stokes Peters, also supported by Miss Jan Peters, supported by Mr. Rodney C. Burris, supported by Dr. Marie Celestin, supported by Val Johnson, Val the Voice Johnson, our streaming host. I want to thank our help desk coordinator, Miss Monica Fusilier, who had to get off because she was so burned out by getting 321 Black folks all in one place to hug on each other virtually. She had to take a nap until we get back together. I want to thank Coach Rita Pilot, our Coach's Corner director. Rita, we have broken the mold. We have broken through to the other side. Corner is the primary platform for Black speakers on this